Alright, it's time to begin our first Season 2 tier list for Street Fighter 6. Now, before we at each other's throats and start yelling at each other over who's top 5, there's something I want to point out first. I gotta say, Season 2 for Street Fighter 6 has been amazing. We've watched pretty much every single tournament up to this point, all the way up to EVO. And the character variety has been amazing. The game seems so balanced now. Even compared to Season 1, it's in a really, really good spot, man. I am loving Season 2 Street Fighter 6. But with that being said, there's still a tier list to do, right? Okay, where are we gonna start? Let's start at the very top. Let's do a super easy one. I think this is an absolute no-brainer. Let's begin with Rashid. The journey of this character has been insane, bro. Think about where this character started. When he first came out, he was like near the bottom. You know, Rashid, he's not as good as the Street Fighter 5 Rashid. He doesn't do enough damage. He doesn't have anti-airs. His anti-airs suck, but he just kept slowly moving up. Gachi-kun started the huge trailblaze, and here we are now, man. Characters have been nerfed over the years as well, and the character's been slowly mastered and optimized. And now Rashid is just like the ultimate character. And he's finally reached the very, very top of the tier list for me personally. Look at the tournaments this year. 2 dream hacks back to back. Like super insanely stacked tournaments. 2 Rashids, man. Gachi-kun and Big Bird. DreamHack Dallas and DreamHack Sweden. And second place, grand finals, last round. Evil Rashid, man. Such an excellent tournament character. But why? Why is Rashid so high right now? Well, I'm sure you guys have all heard everyone going crazy on Rashid's level 2. It is not only the best level 2 super in the game, it's the best super in the game. It is absolutely ridiculous. Even Capcom tried to tone it down by making it so Rashid doesn't gain super meter while it's active. This character is still sometimes doing 2 level 2s in one round. It's so nuts. There's almost no interaction when this thing is out. Rashid can throw level 2 out in almost every single situation. If he knocks you down, if he throws you, if he needs to make a comeback, if he needs the opponent to back off. It's just so powerful, man. You can't escape it. You can't jump over it. Bonchan's best strategy for the level 2 was to jump into it, just to force Rashid to do a specific combo on him. That was his best strategy. And if you just stand there and you try to take 2 throws, then you're still in the corner. Rashid still gets an additional mix-up. You're probably very close to burnout by that point, and then you're gonna get throw looped to death. If you choose to stand there and try to take 2 throws, then there's always the threat of an overhead low mix-up, and there's like 3 chances to get mixed up from that. If you choose to hold parry, then 2 punish counter throws and you're almost in burnout for sure. That'll be so much damage, over 30% easily, and close to burnout. It's just, yeah, it's really, really, really tough situation. The best case scenario, like I said, is to walk into it and parry. But even if you get lucky and you throw Rashid out of the level 2, he's just gonna kick it back to you. It doesn't even matter. There's no escape, man. There is so much cool sauce that Rashid gets, like combo-wise, off of level 2. If at any point he gets, like, no exaggeration, 4 to 6 opportunities to open you up, and even if it was the last second, even when the level 2 disappears, if he opens you up, you can eat like 40% damage off a stray hit. It is actually crazy how powerful Rashid's level 2 is. It is so nuts. I mean, I'm sure everyone's talked to you to death about it. Every time there's a Rashid match and they show the highlights after a tournament, almost every single highlight is from a level 2. Every single time. But it's not just the level 2. You know, everyone thinks that like, oh, Rashid is just all level 2. If he doesn't land it, he loses. No way, man. For a mix-up rushdown character, Rashid is so fundamentally strong on offense and defense. It's actually wild, man. Heavy mixer anti-air hits on both sides of the character. It's like a spinning lariat that goes up. It's very unique, and since it's a core circle forward motion, it's very easy to match the reversal on clutch when he sees green or a drive rush. Dude, he's a mix-up rushdown character with a good reversal that pushes you, and you can set up a level 2 after. It's very good. And he also has his jumping double jump that he can do on wake up to help against throw loops in the corner, and it helps him escape. The wall jump on top of that, And he has a fireball as well. Just defense-wise, really good. On offense, man, 7-frame low forward. Best overhead in the game. Super hard to react to. Bursty drive rush. Really good conversions off straight hits. Rashid's like the whole package, man. He's so good. And I see so many people talk about, like, you know, oh, Ken, Akuma, they have like the strongest corner game in Street Fighter 6. But dude, why is no one talking about Rashid's corner game? It's insane, bro. He has throw loops that land into meaty overheads, meterless, that he can convert. It's actually wild. He has meaty fireball. He has so much sauce in the. It's so difficult to defend against Rashid in the corner. Arabian Cyclone, safe jump setups that do so much damage into the safe jump in the first place. It's nuts. Like yes, the level 2 combos really well with all of this, but even without it, Rashid is still a very, very strong character. He's at that point now, right, where he's just been mastered, and it really shows. Like I said, players like Gachi-kun, like Big Bird, and we have more, man. We got JP, we got Oil King. Yeah, pretty much to summarize, I think Rashid is the perfect tournament character pick. He's never out with that much comeback factor in a 1-2 setting. Rashid is what pros need, and of course, Big Bird is the one leading the charge with Rashid right now, and he's struggled for a year with Marisa, and as soon as he dropped the weights and switched off to Rashid, instant success, winning DreamHack, and now Grand Finals Evo last round. Pretty much a pretty huge power spike. Okay, moving on. So another S tier. Despite what the Ken downplay army will tell you, Ken being the worst Shoto, they succeeded, man. I gotta give it up to Ken players. They succeeded. They diverted all of Capcom's attention to Luke, and Luke got hit with tons of strays, but somehow Ken remained almost unscathed in the patch notes. Ken players will tell you, yeah, reuse the strongest Shoto, but they all use Ken. It's actually really funny, man. Yeah, Ken is another extremely stable, very well-rounded character. In fact, he's got like the highest pick in all the tournaments right now, like statistically. Ken's everywhere, man. Angry Bird and Tokido, top 8 at EVIL recently. Ken is just a very strong pick. He's also a character that's been, you know, pretty much mastered up to this point, and he remains fundamentally the same. They nerfed some small things like his drive rush jab, but you can see Angry Bird still using it very well. His stagger on his Tarka combo. We even had Boost win CPT recently in his region on the World Warrior. Ken's just so good, man. So reliable. His conversions are so great, so meter efficient. Heavy kick punish counter leads in the corner. Any B&B side switch or corner carry, meter efficiency, excellent corner game. Jinrai kicks, good mental stack, excellent dry rush speed, fireball. I mean, you've heard it all. Overheads that can convert into level 3. Another thing about Ken that's really good is that he has amazing comeback factor. Very strong in burnout. He's just a very, very safe, stable character. No really bad matchups. Nothing really jarring. I don't know, man. He's like another ultimate tournament character. And, you know, with the changes to Luke, there's a lot of Ken players that have gravitated towards playing Akuma instead. Ken is still a very strong pick. Man, even Tokido couldn't even drop Ken for Akuma. That's how good Ken is. Couldn't even convince him, his character that he's been waiting for a year. He didn't even succumb to the Satsu no Haru. That's how good Ken is. So I think this is another absolute no-brainer character to put in S tier. Super, super safe pick. And like I said, very stable in a 1-2 setting. All right, I have a question for you, chat. Is that all that's in S tier? Am I missing someone? Who could stand aside Rashid and Ken? I'm putting Akuma at the very top as well. Akuma is a very recent new character to the game. He hasn't had too much time in the oven. He's still being learned, but I think Akuma is absolutely insane character. Right away, a lot of players, especially in the Japan side, has seen this character's potential. I think he's got the best fireball in the game, man. I have no idea why they made Akuma's fireball so cracked. It's nuts. It should have been reused fireball, but no. He has no hurt box, guys. When Akuma's hands are extended, there's nothing here. There's nothing to hit. And that fireball goes at warp speed. It's actually wild, man. Even me playing Bison, I have a hard time doing OD Cycle Crusher against this fireball. It's so damn fast. It's cracked. And he can do it in the air, you know, on top of that. Another thing about Akuma is like, he's known as the Swiss Army knife character that has like, you know, all the tools, but he's not really known for damage. But in Street Fighter 6, he is. Remember we were playing him the first week, we were like, hey, you guys notice Akuma kind of does a lot of damage? Dude, now fast forward to today when the optimization for Akuma, especially in the corner, this character does like the most damage in the game almost. He does like Marisa damage, and he's a Shoto that can zone you. Akuma is so nuts, man. So fundamentally strong. Any stray hit Akuma does, he has so much flexibility. He can land any super on you. Level 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't matter. And his corner game is so crazy. Any hit in the corner and you're like dead against this character. And it all leads into throw loops and very, very plus frames. Both characters have good corner games, Ken and Akuma. Akuma is more about damage and Ken is more about draining your drive meter. But dude, Akuma's OD Fireball +2 on block, Charge Fireball +2 on block, can juggle after. And this character is still being discovered, guys. Like I said, the corner optimization is getting better, but Akuma players are figuring out more stuff with his teleport grab. There's a lot of potential there. The dive kick spacing, he has really good matchups. He blows up characters. You know, the thing about Akuma is his health, right? And I do agree that in a 1st to 2 setting, there is some instability there. But if Akuma can make it to top 8 or any tournament that has a 1st to 3 format, Akuma really, really shines. And he's just like Ken, where he has unlimited comeback factor. His damage is just so high. He'll always come back. And he has such good Oki on everything. And another thing about Akuma is like, dude, that Raging Demon is so powerful as well. It's hard for him to have a chance to use it because it's a CA only in Street Fighter 6. But when he does have it, he can start so many 50-50s off you just off a sweep or just drive rush in general. It goes so well with Raging Demon in this game. And on top of that, his level 3, CA, and Raging Demon all give the exact same Oki. And he gets a turn after, so that just adds to his general comeback factor. But the gist of it is that Akuma's damage output is through the roof, and he's got like the best fireball in the game on top of that. Between forward medium kick and his fireball and his one hit confirms, Akuma's just a beast, man. For a tournament player, it's really up to you. What do you want? Do you want that burst, or do you want just a little bit more stability with Ken? You can't go wrong with either Shoto. And I think in the future, when Akuma is more optimized and more figured out, he's definitely going to remain at S. I can only see good things for Akuma. Man, Capcom even tried emergency nerfing him. His air fireball. Akuma players aren't even using air fireball right now. But yeah, man, top Akuma players that I've seen, Kakeru recently plays very well with Akuma, like 2nd place Topanga, and Kawano. Kawano's beast with Akuma as well. They both play different styles. Daigo's playing all of Akuma, more of a zoning style, but yeah, man. And NL's really trying to make Akuma work. Still a lot of Akuma and Ken players. But yeah, this is my S tier, guys. We're gonna move on to A+ now. A+, the top characters in the game here. I'm gonna throw Guile in here. I think Guile's an easy one, man. Guile's always been considered strong ever since the beta test. There's not too many Guile players, I'll admit, but they're all like specialists and they're all really showing you the potential of Guile. We got Lex, Higuchi, we got Kaba, Knuckle-Doo, all showing us the power of Guile's zoning. Is still very strong, and with the decline of JP, that really helps Guile, man. He only has like very slight weaknesses that stop me from putting him up in S, you know, like just because like he has some matchups that are a little trickier, like against like Blanka, for example, or just the way his supers work because they're charged. It's a little bit harder for Guile to make big comebacks, especially in Burnout, with his level and level 3 being charge moves. But man, Guile, he still has excellent supers, man. His level 1 leading into side switches, safe jumps, the range on it is very unique, and level 3 being used as an anti-air is good. His drive rush conversions are amazing. Level 2 can chip you out. He can still loop you in the corner. His OD Sonic Boom is still godlike. Another thing about Guile that kind of hurts him just a little bit recently is Bison. I think Bison does really good against Guile, and Bison's a very popular character right now. So I think that just like I said, we're talking about the top guys. I'm talking A+, baby. That's what stops me from putting him up in the S, I think. All right, another character here. Let's talk about Cammy. I'm gonna throw Cammy up here. Cammy is another character where we get into arguments all the time. Ever since, you know, Street Fighter 5, you know, she's super honest, footsie character. You know, she's not as good as everything. I mean, it's tough, dude. Not too many players use Cammy in the West except for Punk. Punk, evil champion now, and CEO, showing us just the raw power of Cammy. She got a big nerf, and that was her spin knuckle. She can't, on reaction, go through projectiles with it, but still, between the dive kick and her speed, she can still control the pace of the match so well. She also received a good buff, and that was her new target combo change, man. It's a really good conversion with her. Excellent corner carry, man. Anytime this character hits you, the reward is massive. Her corner game is amazing. It's super good. That crouching fierce and her crouching strong, her crouching medium punch, and her standing light punch. For a player like Punk, Cammy is just so good at checking your fake block strings, punishing you for whiffing and buffering buttons, and defensively she's so good, especially like in the corner, man. It's so hard to escape Cammy. You jump over her and she can do OD uppercut on you and side switch you back in the corner. That is like a big deal. Any other character that you jump over, you know, Rashid, Ken, Akuma, Guile, doesn't matter. You jump over them, you get anti-air, but it's worth it. You know, you're out of the corner, it's worth the damage, but not Cammy. No, you jump out of the corner and she's ready and OD uppercuts you, you're still in the corner, man. It's super hard to escape. And then you're second guessing. Crouching medium kick drive rush in this game is so powerful. And Cammy's dive kicks blow it up so well, right? Like, she's so great for this game's meta. She's so good. There's a lot of Cammy players in the East, a lot of Cammy players in Japan, but Punk obviously is the undisputed best Cammy. Her level 3 is amazing too. Her level 1 is so good too. Good corner carry, really good conversions. You know, another thing about Cammy, like during season 1, a lot of people would say, you know, Cammy is good, like she opens you up and stuff, but her damage output is low. But a lot of the top tiers have gotten their damage scaled down. A lot of the big ones, like, you know, Dee Jay, or you can look at Blanka or Luke, like their damage, and Chun-Li, their damage has went down, but Cammy's has stayed the same. And because of that, Cammy's more in line with other characters, and that helped her out a lot too. Yeah, her defensive options are amazing, bro. If she lands a reversal, she side switches you, even when she's in the corner. Wake up dive kick is amazing as well. Super, super strong. And even though they nerfed her side switch, she still gets the side switch. It's just not as much damage. Character's incredible. Really, really good button. Standing heavy kick. Crouching medium kick has great range. Standing medium kick. She's just a very solid meta character. Cammy should definitely go up there. Matchup wise, like holding Cammy back is like, once again, you know, she is quote unquote an honest character, and she doesn't have that like blow up destruction that some of these characters have. And I think she still has problems against like Blanka, and with the rise of Zangief too. I think that makes Cammy a little tricky on tournament stability wise, but she's still at the top, man. A+ easily. Is my tier list spicy enough yet? Are we gonna spice this up even more? Let's throw a character that's gonna make you guys go boom. That's right, guys. I'm putting Ed at the top here. He made it to A+. You guys thought I was gonna downplay Ed, hey? No. Guys, Ed is Rashid 2.0. It's only a matter of time. He's another character. By the end of this year, man, he's gonna be here. Just watch. He's starting at the bottom and he's slowly climbing up. Ed is such a unique character. He's so fun to play. And this character just has unlimited sauce right now. And just like Rashid, his level 2 is very unique. You got Momochi in training mode for 2,000 hours figuring out sauce for this character. Man, on day 1, Ed player has been trying to figure out ways to fuzzy and overhead with like a jumping light kick with his level 2, man. And here we are. The optimization on Ed's level 2 is so good. And Ed kind of breaks the rules on his level 2. He still gains meter during it, unlike Chun-Li and Rashid, and it's only a matter of time before Capcom takes a look at it. If you can do the desync combo or the Momochi combo, it's full corner to corner, almost get an entire level 2 back, massive 6,000 plus damage, get all your drive meter back into safe jump. Absolutely phenomenal combo. And even his normal like level 2 B&B, just like the uppercut, forward heavy punch uppercut, does excellent damage for a level 2 as well. And it's very reliable because Ed uniquely can go into his OD Blitz, his Rush Punch from Lights. But there's more stuff about Ed than just his level 2, man. Like I said, he's a very unique character. He has one of the most powerful special moves in the game, and that is Snatcher. It's an almost full screen hit grab that makes you +4 in front of the opponent's face and threaten a mix, and if it hits them, it goes through fireballs if you charge it. It armors through, and it leads into lots of damage, and Ed's got great Oki on everything, great corner carry on everything. And even Ed's fireball is very unique. He can whiff punish any character in the game. I know a lot of people make fun of Ed for his stubby lights, but his pushback on his lights are amazing. You don't see it until you play Ed for a bit and then you pick another character, but I see it now, man. The lights that threaten you up close are really scary. And like I said, he can go into OD Blitz from it. Snatcher has a very easy to understand weakness that any character at any level can stop it by either jumping or using DI. But it's still a mix because Ed has great options for anything the opponent does against Snatcher. If they jump too much, he can do heavy Snatcher. You can't tell if it's medium or heavy Snatcher. He can do backdash to bait DIs. He can dash forward if you try to parry it. He has excellent options, man. If you have the right reads, he has an answer for everything. The corner pressure is crazy too. You don't even have to do it. You could just do normal throw loops with kill switch with Ed and do the dash forward and throw, but if you mix Snatcher on it, it's very scary, man. You can charge Snatcher and they're holding parry and you just let their meter drain. If they turn green, you just release and grab them. Ed dishes out a lot of damage. Ed is like one of the most popular characters right now for pro players. Everyone is switching to Ed. It's nuts, man. There's Lashar, Momochi, Ending Walker. Bro, Evil. It's the only duplicate characters we had in top 6. 2 Eds, 3rd and 4th place, Ending Walker and Momochi, and they both play 2 completely different styles of Ed. Ending Walker is full organic Ed, and Momochi is textbook, and they both played amazing with the character because he's so damn unique. Yeah, Fudo, there are so many players that have jumped ship from their mains and they're playing Ed. And I agree that a part of it is just the character is so damn fun to play, but as a tournament character, he's really good. Tachikawa playing modern Ed, the most successful modern player in the world right now, in my opinion, also plays Ed on modern controls. So it doesn't matter if you play him on classic, on modern, your play style, you can make this character work and you can place extremely high in tournaments. So Ed is there, you can't downplay him anymore. Yeah, he's got a slow uppercut, 10 frame light uppercut that's hard to cross cut with. His buttons are very specific where crouching medium kick will lose to lows, but standing medium kick will lose to like other standing medium kicks. It's weird. The character has unlimited sauce, and all the pros are like working together and learning new discoveries of this character every day, and he's only moving up. And like I said, he's Rashid 2.0. He's just going up. All right, next character I'm putting up here at the top. I'm going to throw Blanka in here now. I think Blanka's still really, really damn good, man. We had him on our last tier list at the very end of season 1. I had him at the very top, like top 5. There's actually a huge Blanka army now. I'm seeing more and more players playing Blanka too. And he did get nerfs on all of the key things Blanka players use, like his crouching medium punch got nerfed a little bit. His air Blanka ball finally got nerfed. The scaling on his Blanka Chan and corner mix-ups. These things definitely got nerfed, but he still has them, and they're still very strong, and his level 2 is still one of the best level 2s that you can use at almost any point. If you hit the opponent, it leads right into the corner, and he still has all of his same mix-ups. They just don't 2-tap you like they did before, but it still does an insane amount of damage, and Blanka is still very fundamentally strong and can beat you straight up without doing like the usual Blanka gimmicks that we're used to seeing in other Street Fighter games. MenRD is still playing Blanka, still very, very good. And I see Nemo playing Blanka, and I've seen a lot more Blanka in tournaments in general. So Blanka is still Blanka. That's pretty much how I can sum it up. Like I said, he did get nerfed on the key things, like Capcom's aware of it, but he kept them. They're just scaled down so where it's not just like get hit by, where it's just being abused. Like that crouching medium punch is so crazy, man. Blanka's anti-air is nuts. Even if his anti-air trades, you still take massive damage. And he still has a castable low crouching medium kick. Dry rush heavy kick is still really good. His corner game is still pretty good. Good chip. OD electricity. Plus on block leads into level 2. Just fundamentally really strong. I don't really It's pretty much everything I said last time. That's how I feel about Blanka. I don't think he's moved down. He still does really good against characters like Guile. I still think he does good against Cammy. You can even argue maybe Ed. We'll see. And he's okay against Shotos. Like, I mean, he still has air ball. And by the way, the air ball can still be plus if he spaces it correctly. It's not like it's punishable every time, the OD Blanka airball. So he has a lot of unique defensive and offensive options like Cammy does for a very tricky character, which is good. He's like fundamentally really solid. I don't see any like super jarring weaknesses with Blanka. I put him at the top. I don't think I really need to say much more than that. It's spice mode again. Spicy time. The newest character in the game. That's right, guys. M.Bison. I'm putting him at the top already. This character's only been out for like, what, a month now? And the Bison army already grows. That's right, chat. He influenced me. If I didn't put Bison at the top, the chat would have gone nuts on me. All right, M.Bison. Where do I even start with this character? I think he has the single best special move in the entire game. We'll start with that. OD Psycho Crusher is the best special in the entire game. It is absolutely cracked. This thing, for some reason, goes at warp speed. It's -3 on block. Goes through fireballs and it's canceled into level 3, and it's an anti-air. It is so insane. And when you combine it with Psycho Mine, it's like instant death. And Bison is so good in Street Fighter 6. His buttons are nuts. Heavy punch, it's slow, 19 frames, but it's forward moving, so much range. +1 on block. Counter hit leads into full combo. Back heavy kick has 0 pushback for some reason. +1 back heavy kick is one of the best normals in the game. Back heavy kick. Throw range, 0 pushback. In fact, I think the opponent gets closer to him when he does it. You can do it indefinitely until the opponent guesses right or wrong. And you can do so much drive chip with M.Bison. All of his combos easily combo to Psycho Mine, and they all create situations where if the opponent guesses wrong on his wake up option, it could be the end of the round. His level 1 seems to have like no scaling. His level 1 conversions do so much damage. I don't know why. His comeback factor is excellent. Knee press. You don't see pros using it too much right now because they are discovering more weaknesses with it and how to punish it properly. But it's always a threat. It's always there and the opponent has to respect it. And it's not a charge move, dude. It's not a charge. It's -5, but Bison can still space it, and he can make you flinch and make you neutral jump, and you get hit by jumping medium punch hell attack into massive damage. Stability-wise, you know, M.Bison not having a reversal is very interesting. I wouldn't think I would put a character this high on a tier list without a reversal. That's like kind of unheard of, especially in season 1, but I feel like M.Bison's strengths are so unique that he deserves to be up here. It's kind of like a JP situation almost with season 1, where you kind of have to like look at the strengths, how much they overcome the weaknesses. But looking at Nemo, which was the highest place in M.Bison, he made it to top 6. He did have side characters. He still used a little bit of JP and Blanka to make it to the top, but he definitely made M.Bison work. And there are many M.Bison players out there right now. Kakruz also has a side Bison with his Akuma. And there's Hot Dog. There's Problem X. There is a lot of Bison players out there, man. Just his general game plan just chips your drive meter so hard. And when the opponent's in burnout, he's one of the best characters. Knee press, OD Psycho Crusher is so good for closing out rounds. And like I said, these moves, you would think like their weaknesses are just jumping away from them. It's not like that, man. They're so fast. He can anti-air with them. It's so good. And they go into level 3. M.Bison's just got explosive comeback factor. The thing stopping me from putting M.Bison at S is definitely the reversal. But another thing about M.Bison, he's very meta. He's really good against a lot of characters, man. Really good against Guile, in my opinion. I think M.Bison's great against Guile. He's great against Shotos. He can uniquely deal with Rashid's level 2. He's a boss character, man. He's got a lot of good matchups that make him really tough to deal with. I think M.Bison's at the top. The head stomp is great for escaping the corner. It's hard for the opponent to deal with. The OD head stomp, man. +5 point blank throw range. If you don't use parry, you usually get crossed up by this thing. And he still gets a second guess from it. He's got excellent side switch combos. Level 2 is not the fastest. Like, it's not as crazy anti-zoning as I thought it would be, but it's still there and it still gives you Oki. Crouching heavy punch is amazing too. Excellent anti-air. It's not like Street Fighter 5 where there's a little rocky. No. His crouching fierce is crazy. And now they gave Psycho Crusher an anti-air as well. Heavy kick and jumping medium punch, all really good. M.Bison is the newest character. It's only been a month, and M.Bison players haven't even come close to optimizing him. His Psycho Mind punishes are not even close to being optimized. There's a lot stronger combos that players can do, and the Oki and setups on the 3 different minds, the light, medium, heavy, are all different, even in the corner. And like I said, pro players are min-maxing on what to do after. Lots of setups, a lot of work to do for M.Bison, and I already feel like he's at the top, and he's already tournament proven with Evo, and even Kakeru was using M.Bison near the end of Topanga. So Bison can hang. There's not too many characters that can keep him in check. Speaking of a character that can keep M.Bison in check, there is one. This is going to cause some controversy. I spent a long time thinking about this, watching every tournament and hearing the upplay and downplay. But I feel like I'm going to regret not doing this now. I have to do it now while I can. That's right, guys. That's right. We got a grappler at the very top. And it's not just any grappler. It's Zangief. Here it comes. We all made fun of Kawano, bro, for putting Zangief in top 5 on his tier list. But damn, he knew something we didn't. I don't know. I remember reading the Zangief patch notes and being like, yeah, you know, everything got buffed, but it doesn't look crazy. But dude, it is, man. It is. They buffed every single button. And all of Zangief buttons drain so much drive meter now and give him so much meter. It's so crazy. You know what they did though? This is what really happened with Zangief. They changed the character's archetype. I don't think Zangief's a grappler anymore, man. I think Zangief is a straight up brawler now. That's what happened. That's why I feel like Zangief is so strong. He no longer needs to use SPD on you. He still has it, but he's like the ultimate brawler. He can just beat you with buttons. Zangief has reached the point now where like you cannot ignore him anymore. Capcom even tried to emergency nerf his standing medium kick. They like made it shorter by a pixel. And Zangief players were like, oh my god, the character's ruined. But no, man. This is all based off of 2 players in particular. First off, Itazan placed very high at DreamHack, and you can see a lot of players struggling against Zangief. Itazan plays a very like, you know, traditional fundamental grappler style, but I feel like the ultimate player playing Zangief right now that's showing us the potential of this character is Kobayan. And I don't think Kobayan's on too many players' radar because he plays in Topanga. He's not entering these big international tournaments, but if you guys don't know what Topanga is, it's basically this giant like 2-month tournament of 1st to 7 sets with Japan's greatest players. And Kobayan wasn't even invited to Topanga. He qualified through Topanga and then he won Topanga and beat absolutely everyone. Everyone, guys. In Japan, in 1st to 7 sets with Zangief. Even Hibiki the Beast, Lily, which was supposed to be one of the hardest matchups in the game. So I don't know, man. I don't know how much you can ignore it. Kobayan plays a very aggressive style Zangief, and when you pressure and play him like a brawler, he just puts you in burnout so quickly. Forward heavy punch is kind of like a low-key Bison back heavy kick, but you have to worry about SPD. Standing medium kick, standing medium punch, his charge heavy punch, armors highs, but then his forward medium kick blows up lows. I'm tired of players saying Zangief has no Oki. He does have Oki after SPD. He can drive rush light kick you, and once again, he doesn't even need to use SPD to whittle you down. He's one of the scariest characters when he has you in the corner, man. And on top of that, Kobayan has mastered jump cancels with SPD, making Zangief's defense options really crazy compared to a lot of characters. Even though he doesn't have a reversal, if you can jump cancel that SPD, you're rigging the defensive game in your favor, and wake up SPD will blow up shimmies, blocks, and throws, which then lead into Oki and take off a 30 of your health and does a punish counter. It's really good. And like I said, Zangief's meter gain is also crazy, dude. If you just look at Zangief's super meter when he lands a level 2. If he does Borscht or any kind of SPD after, look at his super meter. He basically gains a level. Just boom. He gains a bar. That's actually wild. So yeah, man, Zangief I feel like is just like the ultimate brawler character right now. He's just like a big bully. He's just like another kind of M.Bison with buttons that has SPD. He just doesn't have like a Psycho Crusher or fireballs, you know? He can still get zoned out, but I mean, if he gets one guess, dude, like one jump in with the amount of health he has, he just dishes out so much damage. If he blocks a reversal on you in the corner, you're dead. It's like more than 50%. Doesn't even need to use super. They buffed his level 1 finally. His level 3, you can combo into it. If the damage on it, combo into it is not crazy, but since this is CA, he can now drain 2 bars. Put you in burnout. It's another thing that he can do. The only thing keeping him from the top is, like I said, he doesn't have a reversal. Technically, he can be zoned out, I guess. There's a lot of Zangief players too, but like I said, there's not too many that have reached the top. Kobayan is gonna pretty much show us the potential of this character. Kind of like Pugera with Balrog in Street Fighter 5. If Zangief ever gets nerfed, it's because of Kobayan. But everyone's using poor E.Honda as a scapegoat right now because of his performance at EVO. And Manon RD, man, is learning some Geef right now too. I think that's a great character for him when he's going through his character crisis, man. Zangief, we'll see. I think Zangief is on everyone's radar right now, including Capcom's, because there's like this thing where Capcom might not want a grappler to be this high. But like I said, I think the reason Zangief is so high right now is because he's not a grappler anymore, it feels like. But he definitely has like the best command grab in the game. Zangief's got some uniquely good matchups too. Like I think he deals with M.Bison really good. I think he deals with Cammy really good. Matchups where you wouldn't think, bro, I thought Dhalsim, man, if you saw Kobayan's match against Dhalsim, oh my god, dude, it was like a speed run. Dhalsim just couldn't escape. Zangief, compared to like Lily and Manon, his dry rush is just fast enough where it's so scary. When you combine it with his insane long-range buttons, I drain you. Man, he even gives Juri problems. His bad matchups are lower on the tier list too. Yeah, that's another good point. That's true. Against the meta right now, I think Zangief does just fine. Not to mention, after Zangief's buffs, his rank statistics have somehow skyrocketed. Unless Zangief players were doing some overnight inspiration and training, everyone just kind of leveled up overnight. It was a strange coincidence. Let me just like quickly say about these 2 rows right now. I don't know if there's a top 5 in season 2. I just feel like these characters are on the upper echelon with almost like no big weaknesses, except for Akuma, obviously, who has low health, but he makes the opponents seem like they have low health because his damage is so high. These are just like really good, like the best tournament characters, I would say, stability wise. This row right here, all these characters are amazing with very slight weaknesses. But if you said to me, hey, Vesper, any of these characters, if you said to me are top 5, I would agree with you. Any of these characters in this row, if you said, hey, Vesper, this character is top 5, I would say, yes, you're right. But like I said, the game is very, very balanced right now. There's so many good characters, and the season has just begun. So we're gonna move down to row A right now, and you notice this time I have A plus and A. I'm just trying to show you that these characters are also very, very strong. They just have a little more weaknesses than these characters above them, just a tiny bit, where I need to separate them. I don't want to include them all in the same group. So let's start off with I'm gonna throw Chun-Li up here. So Chun-Li got some nerfs in the season 2 patch, and it made some players jump ship with her. The universal change to light conversion scaling hurt her. They went after her level 2 on the super meter gain. That was like one unique thing about Chun-Li, is her level 2 was so meter efficient, and she got her meter back when she did it. And they went after her drive rush jab. They went after her T1000, one hit confirm, her forward medium punch. They went after her heavy kick anti-air. Lots of scaling nerfs to Chun-Li. Her damage output is lower now than it was in season 1. And they even went after her movement speed, her back movement speed. Of course, she's not like the slowest character in the game anymore. She's still really fast, but these things are kind of piling on where now it's to the point where her other weaknesses that she already had to begin with in season 1 they stand out more now. Like the fact that she doesn't have a throw loop, one of the only characters in the game, her and E.Honda, and that she has a floaty jump, and that floaty jump makes it tough for her to clutch, to make big comebacks, right? No big fat jump in, and yeah, it makes her harder for her in burnout. So Chun-Li still has great buttons and fireball drive rush game and good conversions, good low forward, and it's strong, but it's just the nerfs have just dropped her down a little bit, and that's why I think there's a lot of Chun-Li players that kind of jump ship. Lashar said she was too boring. They even said she was too weak. Made Lashar. I thought Lashar was the best Chun-Li player in the world, and he switched to Ed because he was too fun. Chun-Li was too boring, guys. Crazy. Who's left, man, with Chun-Li? There's like Valmaster, Haitani, and Moke. You know, there's really not that much left. She's still really good though. Like I said, she's just like right there. I just don't want to. I don't want to put Chun-Li in the same row as these characters. That's all. Wasn't the only buff Chun-Li got was her standing heavy punch? Her standing heavy punch buff is good. Like you see it being used more, but the forward medium punch nerf was pretty big. That was a huge part of her. Chun-Li still has great supers though. Her level 1 and level 2 are great, and she still has great corner carry, and her stomp pressure, wake up, air legs is all good. Her anti-air, the Tensho kicks, it's good and it's bad in some cases. You know, like it's susceptible to dive kicks and things that can delay your jump. Like Tensho kicks is kind of wonky as an anti-air. It's definitely not as good as like an uppercut, a traditional uppercut. There's just not too many Chun-Li characters, which is pretty tough to use. Okay, let me throw in the $1 million character, Juri. So Juri, once again, has always been good. Plays the meta very well. Fireball, drive rush. I think like the one thing stopping Juri from reaching the top is she just has some weird bad matchups. You know, like she loses to Zangief. She has problems against like Shotos. You know, it's just really strange, Juri. Then there's Guile too, you know? I think like on paper, Juri is really good character. She's top, but against the current meta of the game and the characters that pro players are gravitating towards, I think gives Juri problems. And her fireball uniquely just travels on the ground. And even M.Bison, I think, does really well against Juri, man. Knee press goes right over her fireball. And she's going to deal with the OD Cycle Crusher on top of that, man. And with Akuma being added to the game with his fireball, it's like getting worse for Juri recently because of M.Bison and Akuma, the two newest characters. Yeah, man. Uma, you know, the $1 million winner, he's retired, man. The last thing he saw was Honda's cheeks rain down upon him at Evil Japan, and boom, he's gone. So leading the army now is Mago and Nephew, you know, and Mago's doing really good this year, and so is Nephew. They're gonna have to hold down the fort, and Just the Kid as well. So there's still good Juri players out there. Her level 2 still has potential, but it's not like it's not moving up, you know, like, you know, Rashid, Ed, level 2, you know. Her buff to her target combo with the level 1 conversion is actually really good. Nephew's really good at stopping people from jumping back and doing level 1 super. And like I said, Mago's getting a better feel of the game too. Juri's just like Chun-Li, but I feel like Chun-Li just got hit with a lot of nerfs that made her other weaknesses kind of hurt a little bit more. Whereas Juri, I think what's stopping me from putting her at the top is she's got matchup issues with the current meta. That's my beef with her. But I think Juri is really good. Dude, her jumping heavy punch is so annoying, bro. Oh, man. You guys know what I'm talking about, man. Playing against Juri in ranked, that jumping heavy punch drives me crazy, dude. Crazy. Her dive kick, I think, is underrated. It's actually quite good. Wake up jumping medium punch dive kick is actually a good defensive option. I think her DP is really good. Obviously, her drive rush is good. Drive rush delay medium punch. Really good buns. Heavy kick's hard to deal with. Cancelable low forward. She's a little linear, too, in some ways as well. Like her game plan, but that's not really a tier list thing. I'm just talking about her gameplay. Oh, this is a crazy one. I'm actually excited to talk about this character. This one's wild. I'm throwing Luke up here. Once again, I'm gonna bring up Kawano with his tier list, man. He put Luke as bottom 2. And when I saw that, we were all laughing, and it was just like a giant meme. But no, man. I'm not saying Luke is bottom 2, but this character, I could never imagine him actually getting nerfed. But it's true, man. Right away, the first tournament at Combo Breaker, Noah versus El Chicote, and you can see Luke, the nerfs have really piled on this character. He's still fundamentally very strong. That's why I have him at A. But Capcom actually hit him pretty hard, where I think I had Luke as the undisputed best character in the game at the end of Season 1. The only character I had, the very top. And now there is no top character, and Luke is just like, went down 2 or 3 rows. It's so obvious, man. Like, they went after everything with Luke. They went damage scaling nerfs on his lights, his low forward, his crouching medium punch, and his crouching heavy punch. It's like, Capcom, what button do you want us to use? That's like all of his core buttons. That's his entire B&B. If Luke starts one combo with a crouching medium kick drive rush cancel, it does like no damage because he has to go into low strong crouching fierce. They basically want you to start combos with his heavy punch. Luke has always been a meter hungry character, but it was so worth the meter to do a B&B with Luke because he did insane damage, great corner carry, great Oki. And yeah, it led into all of his supers. But now he loses the damage, and that definitely, he kind of runs out of steam and gets put into burnout, which is great if you're Noah. Noah is one of the only dedicated Luke players there is, and he plays Luke hella aggressive and hella risky, and he makes some amazing comebacks, but it always seems like he's trying to make a comeback, like he's always behind. And you can see Chris Wong, Menardi, NL, you can see now it's just not working as much anymore. Luke's crouching medium punch also got his hurt box nerfed too. They went after Luke's hammer mountain, jumping heavy kick, jumping heavy punch, his crouching heavy punch hitbox, standing medium kick hitbox. Every single thing about Luke, man, has been nerfed. The main thing. He didn't even have Fireball Drive Rush to begin with. And once again, he's still a good, well-rounded character. He's still a Shoto, and he still fundamentally is strong with a really good player, but the juice just ain't worth the squeeze anymore. Shoto players are moving on. They're soul searching. MenRD is like all over the place looking for a character. Everyone's jumping ship to either Ken or Akuma. The biggest thing is just his damage, man. And he just runs out of steam. I never thought I would imagine it too, but just because, like, if you look at the history of Street Fighter V, Luke was the top character and he got some small nerfs, but Capcom actually hit Luke pretty good. And I think the Ken downplay army is also responsible. Dude, the Ken Luke wars, man, we're going back and forth, but the Ken army, man, I gotta, man, you gotta give it up, man. They did a great job distracting everyone with Luke. Another thing about Luke, it's a kind of a sensitive topic, but Luke's instability with his charge knuckles, playing in different tournaments with different setups, adds a unique instability to him as a tournament character, where dropping a knuckle now with his damage output is very unstable, in my opinion, as a tournament character. And we'll just leave it at that. I think it's just scary to use Luke right now. That's pretty much what I have to say. His charge knuckles, like, I understand Capcom's perspective, like, his damage output is high because his combos are uniquely tough to do consistently with the charge knuckles. But now, like I said, I think the summary of Luke is the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Another character I still think is very good despite the mountain of nerfs. I'm gonna throw DJ up here as well. DJ, man, I think he was like the most nerfed character. Reading those notes, they made it personal on poor DJ. Holy cow. The amount of nerfs that DJ got was insane, man. They didn't slow down his drive rush speed though, but his damage output definitely got hit. It's the same thing with Chun-Li, where DJ's weaknesses that he had in season 1, that they stand out a lot more now. You know, like, he doesn't have the cancel low forward. His level 1's not invincible, so he gets mauled when he's in burnout against DI. You know, his heavy fireball is slow. A lot of cancelable buttons in general. Relies a lot on drive rush. Those things definitely stand out more at DJ. However, Zen still plays DJ. He still made the top 6. And he's been vocal about DJ. He still thinks DJ is a top 5 character. So there's still hope. Shien still plays DJ as well. But even Fudo jumped ship. Fudo is one of the top DJ players, and he jumped to Ed. I think DJ's still there, but he's not like a super cheap, like, hey, let's get some free dubs, let's play some DJ and just wreck everyone with drive rush. It's not like that anymore because his damage output is just not nearly as crazy as it is. But DJ's still good, man. OD Fireball is still godlike. You can still, like, convert juggle from it. If DJ has you in the corner and you're burnt out, you're getting skinned alive on block, DJ can still drive rush down characters like Zangief, you know? Just stay on him and he can still zone you out. And his sway is still very good for making you second guess checking him on drive rush. It's still there. It's just not like super rewarding where your life bar just disappears in a second. Just, you know, learn DJ in 2 days and start climbing the ranks. It's just not like that anymore. So I think the balancing done to these characters are actually pretty good in general from Capcom's spot. They're subtle, but you can definitely see it at the beginning tournaments now. There's a lot of shifts there. But once again, I really want to make it, you know, clear that these characters are all very strong. They're very close to A+. They just have a little bit more weaknesses. They're still great tournament characters. Finally, I'm going to toss JP here. JP's still not dead. I don't buy it. The JP specialists are out there, man. And JP's still strong. They hit JP really hard, dude. They did. But this character is still mad unique, and he can still zone you out from full screen and maul you when you get into burnout, man. The biggest thing they went after JP with his crouching heavy punch. That's what makes it scary, playing JP. And now with the new characters too, M.Bison and Akuma, I think, do very well against JP. Both these characters are scary. But there's still JP specialists out there, man. They're doing really good. DCQ, Juicy Joe, even Kaku is playing a little bit of JP. Nemo. They're still out there, man, and they're doing damage, bro. DCQ made it to the end of CEO Grand Finals. Aqua made it very far in Evo. These guys are specialists, man, and they're still showing you why everyone complained about JP to begin with. And if Capcom even just buffed JP a tiny bit and they gave his crouching heavy punch back, boom, JP returns, man. That's all it's gonna take. They gave him a new level 2 setup as well, the OD Shadow into level 2. And another thing too, guys, is slowly over time, I'm seeing pros are starting to forget how to deal with JP. The players are starting to forget how to deal with him. You can tell they're a little lost because when JP was the top, everyone knew how to deal with this character. Like, everyone had to learn this matchup inside out, but players are starting to forget because we're not seeing him as much anymore. To be honest, guys, the nerfs to JP, I enjoy watching JP in tournaments, and I think we're seeing him just enough where we're like, oh cool, it's a JP player, but not where we're like, oh, not JP. We're seeing him 1 or 2 or maybe 3 reach very top, but that's just enough where it's not annoying. 7 JPs and LCQ Capcom Cup like last year. Honestly, man, JP's a really cool character. I love his design. All right, moving on. Let's go to the B+ now. I said mid, but I mean, mid kind of sounds disingenuous. It sounds bad when you say mid-tier characters, but B+. These characters are, once again, really, really strong. They can hang with these guys, but they just have a little bit more weaknesses now. I'm going to start with Aki. Aki is one of the most buff characters this season. And there's a lot of people being like, Aki's top 5 now. She's really, really good. And you can see specialist players like Broski and Hikaru do very well with her. Especially Hikaru in Topanga made it really far with her. But she just doesn't have the strength of the meta as much as these characters up top, right? Like, she still doesn't have that cancel low forward. Her fireball dry rush game is great. But when you're close to her, you can tell she has a lot of problems with her fireball still, man. You can jump on it on reaction. She can adjust the speed of it. And her drive rush game is really good. But forward heavy kick, you can drive reversal it. It can get blown up by DI. It's just not as much. It doesn't have as much oomph. But a good Aki player can still hang. She has like probably the best burnout character in the entire game. Her comeback factor is amazing. Still has a really good drive rush, low forward, overhead game. Standing medium punch got buffed. Really good for checking drive rush now. Her crouching lights are good. Her anti-airs are good now. She can still zone you, but I feel like as a character, I feel like she just has to take a little bit more risk than these characters above her do. Like, when she's throwing out those serpent lashes close, there's just always that chance she's gonna get jumped in and she's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Especially a character without a damage reversal. So I feel like zoner-wise, Aki's a cool, unique spot, but she's just not as oppressive as the characters above her. I put her as mid-tier, actually, in Season 1. But I feel like with all the amazing buffs that she got, and with the inclusion of the new characters of the game, I still think she's kind of around the same spot. I want to see her more in tournaments, but she's more of a specialist character still. You could argue to put Aki on the same level as like Chun-Li, Juri, Luke, and Dee Jay, but I don't know. Another thing about Aki is her matchups too, man. Going up against like Blanka, dude, M.Bison versus Aki. Oh my god, dude. Good luck throwing a fireball. Akuma, dive kicks, Cammy, Rashid, like Ken. I don't know, man. I don't think Aki can hang with this current meta of characters. I just don't. I don't see these matchups where they're like, oh yeah, she's winning these or she has an advantage, you know? I love all the love that Capcom's giving her. I think she's a super sick character and she's a very unique design and she has some really good strengths, like I said. But there's only a very small, like 2 players tops that are showing her potential right now. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe she'll move up in my tier list as we go on. Okay. Another surprising pick I'm going to throw in here is Marisa. Damn, Marisa. At the beginning of the season 2, and you saw her new combo conversion she got, I'm like, damn, man, Marisa is moving up. But there is actually no Marisa players left, guys. I can't name a single name now. They've all moved on. Shudo moved on to Akuma. Big Bird moved on to Rashid. I think Strider moved on to Bison. They're all gone, you know? Marisa has reached the point of just tournament instability. She's a simple brawler character with no true reversal, high damage output. That's what's kept her up, was her massive damage output, but her buttons are slow. She can be outspaced so easily and she gets mauled when you get in on her, you know? They even nerfed her level 3. She doesn't have that like checkmate scenario level 3 anymore. where she can do the drive rush low strong. It's definitely caught up with Marisa, where like the damage output is not enough to overcome her weaknesses anymore. And honestly, M.Bison and Zangief are just straight up better versions of Marisa. Zangief's a brawler now, and M.Bison might as well be a brawler too. They both do what Marisa does, but better. Bison's more mobile. Zangief with the jump cancel SPD. Yeah, definitely more versatile than her. I'm not sure where Capcom's head at is with Marisa. Maybe they're thinking she's supposed to be a beginner character, so they don't want her to be too high up the list because of her ease of use. We still see like Marisa players in pools and tournaments, but I don't see any big names using her anymore. You know, they tried making it work for a year, and now, like I said, she's just not as meta. No cancelable low forward. Her anti-airs are wonky. Crouching heavy punch is just unstable compared to like M.Bison crouching heavy punch. And like I said, against really good players, she just gets outspaced so easily. In a 1-2 setting, just unstable. Scary to use. All right, it's finally time, guys. Drum roll. You know who's coming next. Ryu. I'm still putting him in mid. He's still in the same spot. So Ryu, man. When I read the patch notes for Ryu, I couldn't believe it. They buffed so much stuff with this character. I thought Ryu was instantly gonna raise to the top. Top 5, man. I had high hopes for Ryu. I really did. But it's one of those things that like in practice, when you get to see it, it's still not enough. And Ryu's got this unique weakness too. This unique problem when it comes to picking him is that when you pick Ryu, you have to compare him to the other Shotos. You have to compare him to Luke, Ken, and Akuma. And it's like, man, why am I playing Ryu? If I want to zone, play Akuma. If I want to rush down, play Ken. And if I want to out footsie, if I want to fundamental you down, pick Luke. Ryu, he's a well-rounded character, but out of all the well-rounded characters, he's definitely still lacking. His drive rush speed is still not enough. His standing medium punch is outdated. I don't know why it's even minus anymore for how stubby that thing is. His supers, honestly, his level 3 sucks. I'm just gonna straight up say it. His level 3 gives no Oki. It doesn't justify its range. It doesn't do more damage than other level 3s. Like, what's up with Ryu's level 3, man? Look at these other character level 3s. They're crazy, man. Luke's level 3 is nuts. Goes through fireballs. The ways he combos into it. Akuma, I don't even have to mention Akuma's Raging Demon and his level 3. And then we have Ken. Dude, when Ken's level 3 doesn't even like fully hit, he gets side switch combos and even more damage, you know? Ryu, it's like, what's the trade-off here? You know what I'm saying? And his general fireball game plan compared to Akuma, it's like night and day, man. Akuma's forward medium kick compared to Ryu's standing medium kick, and their fireballs head-to-head, Akuma is just better zoner. It's nuts. I love the change they did to Ryu, and I'm gonna do a video on Ryu to discuss this more in depth, but yeah, man, it's just so hard to look at Ryu without comparing him to the other shows. It really is. In the hands of the right player, like, there are still really good Ryu players out there. Paladin comes to mind, Semi as well. And honestly, Kakeru had a mean Ryu that I was watching at the beginning of the season. He still has some hard matchups too. Guile. The Guile versus Ryu is such a nightmare matchup. It's so scary. And then Rashid, with Rashid's new slide buffs that he has going under the fireballs. And then Ryu going toe-to-toe with Akuma. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Zangief, Blanka. But with all this being said, though, like the dooming talk of Ryu, guys, this character can be fixed. It's not like Street Fighter 5. I promise you guys. This character can be top 5 if Capcom wants him to. He just needs one more rap sheet of buffs. Just one more. That's all it's going to take, man. If they buff that standing medium punch, that forward heavy kick, and his supers, his level 3 Oki, I'm telling you, that's all that's left. They can't buff anything else. They buffed everything else, man. Or the drive rush speed. He's almost there. And I'm not putting him in bottom 5 like a lot of other players are doing either. I still have him like right here, like near. You know, you can still win with Ryu. Yeah, even with the best Ryu players, it's still tough, man. You still gotta play this character wild to win. And a lot of his win condition is based off of lining a heavy punch drive rush cancel and dumping your entire meter into level 3. That's like his big win condition. It ain't zoning. That's for damn sure. All right, now we're entering the lower echelon. So right now you can see it's close. There's a lot of characters in these rows, you know. But now we're at the point where there's characters still struggling. and the characters that need a little pick-me-up, need a little bit of help. We're entering the low now. But I still have it as B, just to let you guys know that the game is still very balanced. You can still win with these characters, but they definitely have to work now. So I'm going to start off with Lily. I'll put Lily at the top of low. Being held down by El Chicote and Hibiki the Beast. El Chicote won Combo Breaker, and Hibiki the Beast still doing really good and doing well in Topanga. Capcom didn't really change much with her. One of the biggest buffs she got actually is the universal change with Wake Up Drive Reversal, but she's still pretty much the same. Grappler wise, Zangief is just in a better spot than her. She's still, Condor Spire, the character. She pretty much has to rely on that one move. She's just very linear, that if she's not getting those win she's just in a lot of trouble. But she can still, she still has some good things about her. Like her crushing heavy punch is a great anti-air. But they did nerf it as a poke. She can still jump cancel that SPD. It just doesn't have the range that Zangief does. Her level 2's pretty unique as well. She can combo to her level 1 better. But her mix-up pressure after the Condor Spire is good. But it's not guess wrong and you die kind of thing. She's not draining your meter and crazy like Zangief is. Yeah, I still have her at the top of low because it's still showing us that in tournament stability wise, she can still do well. She still has one of the most powerful moves in the game, and that is OD Spire. It's just that it's just a little bit more resource management than Snatcher, which is meterless, right? Or OD Crusher, which doesn't need a win stock. And this is one of those things again too, where I think with Marisa, I think Capcom doesn't want to make her too strong because she's an easy character. She's meant to be a very simple character, and they might keep her this way. They might not give her much. She's just a very, very one-note linear character. There's really nothing to Lily. But I saw Manon mention that he might try to learn her, The biggest thing is just Lily just didn't get any big buffs like Zangief did. Okay, I'm going to toss Kimberly in here too. Kimberly, I'm sorry, Kimberly players. She still didn't get her reversal. Her damage output is still very, very low. Some of the lowest in the game. She's this rushdown mix-up character that defensively is weak compared to other rushdown characters. Rashid and Kimberly is so night and day. It's hilarious, bro. It's so night and day. And even Blanka, if you want to compare it to Blanka, man. But I like they gave her some new cool stuff, with her spray paint cans mid-screen mix-ups, and the OD Azuna drop mid-screen is cool. I like that. Her corner game is very strong too, but she's just still a lot of gimmicks. There's just still a lot of fake stuff with her. A lot of her run cancel stuff, the forward heavy kick, the teleport. Against other pro players, they just won't let her get away with this kind of stuff. She's supposed to be a tricky character, but there's a lot of gimmicks with her. Defensively, she's a liability, and with her damage being so low, she just kind of runs out of steam. At any point, if she gets side switched, she could be dead. I like the buffs to her level 2 and level 1 as well. But another thing about Kimberly, guys, is that she's a character that really needs to be explored at the level of Ed and Rashid, especially with her new changes. They gave her some pokes with her elbow. She can poke with it, and the spray paint cans, now she has more options mid-screen with them. But she's got to use resources to land those mix-ups in the first place with the spray paint cans, and it's just the rate of learning her is just slow because there's just not too many Kimberly players to begin with. Like I said, anyone looking for that archetype is gonna look elsewhere. She's also a character that could be really annoying if Capcom does buff her more, so maybe Capcom's scared of that as well. It's really crazy because she seemed really strong in the beta, and a lot of people complained about her, and she got nerfed before she didn't even get a chance, before the game even came out. What could have been. It's really interesting. Like I said, if you look at the other characters here, Ken being unscathed, Rashid moving up, Akuma and M.Bison being added to the game, Guile not having to worry about JP as much anymore, Zangief moving up. It's just tough for these characters to climb. They have to get significant buffs. I'm gonna throw Dhalsim up here too. I still think Dhalsim's in the same spot. He barely got any changes, and in fact, the universal nerfs to lights, adding more scaling on Drive Rush, hurt Dhalsim a little bit too on his damage. They gave him some stability on his level 3. I'm not seeing the heavy kick change as much in tournaments. He's still getting skinned alive, man, on every tournament match I see. Now, I'm seeing Dhalsim get mauled by Zangief and Topanga, dude, speed run. I mean, he can still zone you, and that will always keep him from being on the bottom. He's still a zoner. I just don't think, Dhalsim, he's strong in a lot of other Street Fighter games, but I just feel like the aggression and damage of Street Fighter 6 it just doesn't work well with the Dhalsim's archetype. That's all. You can't use the dry rush mechanic as well as these other characters can. And once again, with the inclusion in season 2 of Akuma and M.Bison, it just makes Dhalsim just so risky to use in tournaments, man. These characters will just skin Dhalsim alive. There's just no room for Dhalsim in season 2. They just keeps him low, makes him really tough to use. The DLC characters are all good, and they're just getting scarier and scarier the more they add in Street Fighter 6. All right, guys, the bottom 3. So it's the same sad story. I'll start with Manon. Manon, she got some buffs, you know, some things. They made her level 2 work. They made her level 3 do a little bit more damage on the metal levels. So if you want to choose her level 3 instead. But man, what really hurts Manon, honestly, is she lost her identity as a character. What is she even supposed to be anymore? Like, Zangief is just straight up better than her. She was supposed to be the buttons grappler. Zangief is way better buttons than Manon. Are you crazy? Zangief can just beat you with buttons now. So what is the point of using her? You know? I think her supers are absolute trash. Like, she's got like the worst supers in the game. Just straight up. It is nuts. Like, her level 2, she's forced to use her level 2 because her level 3 just like gives no Oki. But there's utility in the other grapplers, man. Look at Lily. Her level 2, you can jump in empty and bait a DP with it. And it gets buffed with the wind buff. Zangief's level 2 can side switch you. He can juggle after it. He can do setups after it. It goes through fireballs. So much utility there. And his level 3 is you can't jump out of it after screen freeze. But like, what about Manon? Like, her grab, her level 3, what are you supposed to use it for? Like, I don't know, man. Even Lily's level 3 does a lot of damage, you know, just doing the crouching heavy punch drive rushes. But like Manon, it's like, man, it's just matchup wise, she just gets destroyed by zoners, and now she's got to worry about Akuma zoning. And Akuma's such a popular pick. I don't even know where to start with Manon. Like, Ryu, I can tell you what they need to do with Ryu. With Manon, I don't even know where to start. She's such a mess right now. I really don't, guys. This character is a disaster. She's definitely at the bottom. For me, they gotta look at her twirl, at her anti-zoning, and I think they need to focus on making her more fun too. I think that's another issue. She's just completely lost her identity. They need to take a look at her supers. Her level 1 is fine. You know, it's side switches you can juggle into. It's pretty unique, but they need to like start over and think about what is this character supposed to be, what makes her different from Lily and Zangief, and make people want to play her and go from there. She's just I think out of all the characters in this game, she's the biggest mess. Even though I have her at the top of bottom, I think she's the character in the most need of a rework by far. I think Manon is in the biggest trouble. But there's still good Manon players too, man. Still making it pretty far with her. Item, Random, Joey, you know, even Tachikawa's got a classic controls Manon. He plays on the side with his modern Ed. She's still there. She can still random you out in a 1-to-2 setting, but man, this character is such a struggle character. And like I said, I'm looking at this from a perspective, not just from tournament stability, but just fun to play, you know, like they need to take a look at it. Her drive rush, worst drive rush in the game. Her anti-zone is so bad. If we go into matchups, it's just it's a disaster. I'm sorry if I sound so negative. I'm just very passionate about wanting Manon to be cool again. She started off the game, you know, everyone screaming out the number of the medal levels in tournaments. It's very exciting. I think she's cool to watch, seeing that big throw damage, but now when you see her, it's like you feel sad. You know, you feel like, oh, why doesn't Item just switch characters? It's just all this negativity around the character, you know? And she's brand new, so I don't know. I hope Capcom takes a look on her. So sorry if I sound too negative about Manon. Okay. Jamie. Jamie, I think, is another no-brainer. Jamie's just his design keeps him at the bottom, in my opinion. I think as a tournament character, as a tournament stability wise, extremely unstable because of his drink system. They did give him some great cool buffs that I really like. The forward throw is the biggest one. Giving him a drink after forward throw is great, but once again, this is a character that can get skinned alive or get drinks and then become an okay character. You know, if he gets hit on round start, put in the corner, and he has no drinks, he's screwed. I don't know how you're supposed to make a comeback with him. He doesn't have access to all of his moves, and he's got to deal with it every single round. It's too much for poor Jamie. I love that they fixed his dive kick at least. That's nice. He's got some cool new combos into his level 1, but Jamie is like the most unknown character in tournaments. Seriously. You just never see him, ever. I think Udio, we saw him at Evo with Jamie, but I think that's it. This character is a huge red flag for pro players. Like, even Manon, you'll be like, okay, maybe we can make this work. Jamie, I'm good, bro. Show me someone else. No one wants to go through that struggle. He's the Dan of Street Fighter 6. The big thing about Jamie, honestly, guys, besides, you know, what I just mentioned, his level 3 and 4 drink, I don't think is crazy enough. Like, even Jamie at level 3 or level 4, I think is around, like, you know, this level at the A. I don't even think he's, like, top 5, even with level 4 drinks. I think either Capcom needs to double down and make it so that his high drink levels are even scarier, or they need to increase his stability at level 0 and 1. What I mean is, one thing they can do is make it so he doesn't have the 10% damage nerf at level 0. Because Jamie players, you can't even try to win without drinks. It's just his damage output's way too low. It'll take forever. And to do that every round in a tournament, yeah, good luck. It's not gonna happen, man. So either make his damage at 100% and it still goes to 110 at level 4, or like add the risk reward factor, the double-edged sword design of Jamie. But like I said, in a game that's as competitive as Street Fighter 6, where there's so much money on the line and everyone's so damn godlike at this game now, Jamie is just, I'm good, bro. I ain't playing. I'm not gonna try to make this character work. But I do like the buffs that they give him, but it's just his design. It's what's holding him back. Such a unique weakness that he has to deal with every single round, not having access to all of his moves. And finally, throwing Honda in here. Still have Honda probably at bottom 1. Honda, man, this character is another character from the design standpoint is just so difficult for Capcom to figure out what to do. I love his buffs. They made him less degenerate and made him more fundamentally solid. But reason he's so low is because they made him less degenerate and more fundamentally solid. Because they did that, it also nerfed him. Like, don't get me wrong, E.Honda has got some accomplishments. He traumatized Moke and he made the champion retire. You know, I'll give him that. But dude, his 2 core moves, headbutt and butt slam, are countered by every character in the entire game with perfect parry. There's more options to deal with butt slam. If he does do it and you block it, you're safe against Honda. If he headbutts you and you jump it, you can punish him now. His level 2 is too slow. I don't know why it's so slow. It's a charge super. They gotta make it way faster. His level 1 and level 3 are okay. I love the changes to his standing medium punch, his buns and all that, but I think honestly another issue with Honda is his 100 hand slap. Because it's a motion special, they couldn't make it plus on block. You know, the reward was the execution of doing piano and doing 100 hand slap, and that's what made Honda a bully. He'd walk forward, 100 hand slap, chip you down, right? That was the character. But he can't do that anymore because it's a core circle. So they have to make it minus, and that just really limits him to headbutt and butt slam and just doing button. You know what I'm saying? His dry rush is pretty good. His command grab does a lot of damage. It's a good round finisher. His anti-airs are good. But I mean, when it comes to the Unga, dude, M.Bison is just M.Bison and Blanka are just so much better than Honda in every way. With similar playstyles, so much better, bro. You're gonna compare Headbutt to like Knee Press and Psycho Crusher? Good luck. Or Blanka Ball? These characters, like, yeah, they're susceptible to perfect parry, but they have so much more options against it. And Honda's just in a tricky spot where he is another beginner character, you know, like Lily and Marisa. And if they make him too strong, it makes it harder for lower ranked players. And if they want to buff him up for higher ranked players or for tournaments, tough to deal with. Even though I have Honda bottom 1, I do like the changes that Capcom did. I do. I like the direction they're going, but they need to take a look at 100 hand slap next. Honda's just not doing a good enough job as a bully, as a brawler. It's too linear. Marisa still does a better job, and M.Bison and Zangief. Oh my god. E.Honda versus Zangief, guys. Impossible matchup. Okay, so yeah, that's my tier list, guys. I'm happy I was able to include the newest characters, M.Bison and Akuma. What do you guys think? How wrong am I? This will be a good starting and baseline point. And of course, I'll be changing my mind throughout the season. But I had a lot of fun thinking about this. I can see a lot of people talking about Aki for sure. I can definitely see the argument of moving her up. Absolutely. And I can see a lot of people arguing to move Akuma down because his low health is too much of a liability. I could totally see that. But for the most part, like I said, I think Season 2 for Street Fighter 6 is amazing. I think the game is in such a good spot. Balance-wise, character variety-wise, competition-wise, every tournament's been such a treat to watch, and we're almost seeing every character. We really are. I'm really liking it, and going forward, I think it's gonna be very easy for Capcom to further balance this game and give a pick-me-up to some of these characters because they don't have to release a giant balance patch anymore, and they already confirmed that they'll be doing multiple balance patches a year, tiny ones, and maybe with Terry, we'll see some further tweaks to the game going forward. But We have a joke on our stream where whenever we watch a tournament, someone in the chat says this character's top 5 now, and we rounded up and took every single name that someone said top 5, and it was pretty much the entire cast, which says a lot, right? That means that if there's an argument you can make for almost every character. And this season has just begun, guys. We just had Evil. We have a lot more tournaments to go. We're just getting started, so there could be some new discoveries, and I can definitely change my mind as we go.